All right. So, welcome to the Hoop Central podcast. I'm Coach Jay. I'm here with the number one girl dad, Felipe. Tell me how to say the last name.
Basconis.
Bascones. Felipe
Yeah.
Bascones. And I'll let you briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah. As Jay said, I'm Felipe. I'm just a Worcester guy. I love girls basketball, but I've also there's a special vested interest because my daughter plays for South and she loves the game. And I promise you, I never pressured her to play. This is her journey, and I'm just a fan. Never wanted to be her coach. Just find the right people to get around her so I could just be dad. And so been blessed with that.
Awesome. And I think it's fitting to talk about women's sports. It's the women's WNBA season right now. So when the guys finish or in playoff mode, the girls are pretty much picking up. And I see Shamrocks in the building. What's up, Shamrock? Are you ready? Are you
I,
good to
I,
go?
I'm good to go.
Always ready and rocking. Shamrock Sports does a great job covering women's sports, specifically South High sports, boxing, you name it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I do what I can. I do what I can. Am I? I'm still with you guys. Let me see if I can get my camera. Didn't work last time either. Let me get my camera in there. I'm here. Start cam. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go.
awesome. Yeah. So the
Ah,
topic for today, yeah, while you get that set up was is women's basketball or women's sports underrated, and why does it receive so much hate? And I guess I'll start this off by providing evidence of my claim, which is that it's receiving hate. And I've gotten comments, and Shamrock, you've seen it directly on my page on
yeah.
videos of the girls, where the video is not about them being girls, but the comments are about them being girls. So the videos is about basketball, but the comments become about them being girls. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit about how the topic gets diverted into, oh, they're girls, or oh, this person's white, or oh, this person's such and such. So we could kind of talk about that a little bit. I'll let you guys have the floor if you want to build on that for like 30 seconds to a minute while I get the comments up, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So
And I'll add to that. I guess, as we all know, hate can be a very strong word. Um, from my observation, just being a South High dad, I will add in the sense that it's clear that there was a lack of support, um, which was pretty bothersome. Seeing what the girls had done 2 years ago, and then coming into this year, past year, to be able to not have the kind of support um, that it was due was a bit frustrating. I think for all levels. When the coach of South High is a master marketer too, put stuff on social media, just to really generate the earned hype behind it. So yeah, but I do think near the end, again, when you're winning and then you get to that level, I think there is a natural buzz that happens, and then support eventually ends up coming in. So a little more long-winded than I wanted to, but that lack of support, I would just add to that is what I've observed.
yeah, there's no doubt. That's across the board in women's basketball too, not just around here. First of all, the WNBA has its issues. I mean, I think that look at what college basketball just did. There's no money involved. There is, but there isn't. You got kids that playing that hard. It's competition. I think this last postseason, college girls postseason, really said it all. I think they set the record for the ratings viewership this year, and I think that's gonna, along with the Leah Boston, that's gonna also help us around here, an odd area, but it looks like nationally too. Um, a big number one pick that comes in and fits right in and dominates. As you, Shaq is one of the last ones that one of the ones real dominant ones that I can remember. Um, but that's going to help. I think the girls coming out this year after Caitlin Clark, obviously Angel Reese and that entire LSU squad. I mean, that's going to help tremendously. Who knows? But I think it's growing. Even around here, the South girls have done. I mean, they've turned the attitude around here around 180. I mean, we got them recognized last week down at City Hall finally.
Mm.
You know, and I think even they were still even underrated for what they pulled off, and that's 2 years now in a row. And
2 years of, are you meaning 2 years of, were they undefeated the past 2 years?
No, they have one regular season loss. It was actually Wachusett.
Okay.
Long time ago, almost out of my memory, but there's only one, so it's tough to forget that one. But 2 playoff losses and a bright future. And I think really you can even tell, I mean, Felipe, how there's an uptick in the attitude on girls basketball, I believe.
Yeah, there definitely is. You know, just to build a consistent level of winning and playing that up-tempo, defensive-minded style, I think has generated a lot of buzz about that makes it exciting because, you know, our girls are not dunkers. They're not the ISO, you know, break ankles type, although we do have a couple girls that have those kind of handles. But it's just very team-oriented, up-tempo, defensive, and that's, to me, my favorite brand of basketball, whether it's guys or girls.
Yep.
But to see girls doing it at that level, it's pretty awesome.
And I think people need to pick it apart, too, in the sense that, you know, even in men's basketball and boys basketball, there's people that are out there to have fun, which should be the goal across the board, obviously. But there's also girls that want to work harder than that and expect. I think it's tough for people to decipher where to fit their kids in and what teams. You know what I mean? Because if you're walking in there expecting, you know, just a good time and have fun, not really, you know, really learning the game, I think, you know, Diego runs it different. So I don't know if a lot of people know, you know, what they're getting into. If he's training these girls for beyond whatever league they're in or whatever age they're playing at, you know. But and I get it. There's some parents that don't want that. There's some whatever, and that's fine. It just takes time to figure out. That's all.
Yeah, really quick,
where
Shamrock, if you can, I don't know if it's your microphone, if you could turn it up a little bit, that would help everyone hear you a little bit better. But if not, it's fine. I want to share this really quick. I'll zoom in. I'm not trying to put anyone on blast, but they made a public comment, so I'll share it. And the video specifically is the South High Heckler video, and I could play that as well. But the comment that kind of made me feel as if women's basketball is underrated is this comment where it says, then why is he sitting there and watching them? Why would people use their time to watch women playing? No offense, but women can't play basketball. I once watched, and it's boring AF. So this was one of the most recent ones I got, and I'm not trying to put anyone on blast. I want people to be able to say what they want to say as long as it's something they wouldn't mind someone saying to them. So if you can handle it and you think it's okay for someone to say it to you, then speak your mind. But Felipe and Shamrock, I want to know what you guys think about this comment that why would people use their time to watch women play basketball and women can't play basketball?
Yeah, it's funny. It doesn't bother me at all because that thing is not worthy of any emotion, to be honest. There's no fact. That's a pure hate statement, but with no substance, if that makes any sense. Like if you're going to say women are boring, okay, tell me why. You know, there's nothing in there. And so, you know, to me, it doesn't bother me because it's not even worthy of my emotion. because there's nothing substantial about it or nothing that substantiates his point of view. So
I got to second that. It's not like he's not really referencing anything to argue back with. And obviously you can't tell another human being that they can't do anything. Doesn't matter gender or whatever. You know what I mean? But also I'd like to highlight the key moment in that sentence that it says, "I once watched." Like I'm out after that. One time you gave it. I mean, come on, let's go.
Yeah, this is the video he's referencing. I wonder if it'll play. This is the game that you guys played against Notre Dame. So here it is. So I posted a clip because I've been posting clips, pretty regularly. And it says, this fan heckled the girls' coach. Was he wrong? So I think we know what this game is, but I'll play it for those who don't.
Are you on a video?
So that's the video, the infamous video, the notorious video that a lot of people heard about, or at least heard about the game. And that was the comment that that person chose to say, that why would he even be sitting there watching basketball? Women can't play. So just to give it some context. But that wasn't the only comment. And Shamrock, you got involved in another comment section that I sent to you initially. Yeah, and I wanted to, and I think it was particularly about the South girls. That's why I sent it to you. So let me see if I could find it. So I think it's this one here. It says, a high school boys coach would never press when up 40. Women's basketball is a joke, and they'll do anything to try and be relevant. His team would get mopped by a 12-year-old AAU team. And then he proceeded to add edits to the comment, but that was the initial comment. So Shamrock, I know you were in the comment section, but what did you think about this particular comment?
I see 17 replies. I think 12 of them might be mine. I went machine gun mode on that. I was telling facts that didn't even need to be told, just to solidify what I was talking about. This game here, there were issues. We're past it. It was their administration really wasn't all that welcoming to us for reasons that shouldn't have been. That man should have been thrown out of the game. He interfered with the gameplay while it was going on. He should have been thrown out. He wasn't. He obviously knew his daughter was either played there or he was close with the administration. They chose not to throw him out, and it escalated from there. So we'll leave it on the refs, because first of all, he just should have been ejected. You can't interfere with any game while it's being played, pro, college, high school, anything. You cannot. You'll get thrown out wherever, whenever. They would have, that would have ended the whole thing. There were escalations, but the fact of the matter is we were pressing up by a 40. Sometimes there's bad blood in games that you need to let your gameplay do the talking, and that's exactly what our girls did. And I don't see anything wrong with it. And add that, I don't know, that was a funny incident.
Yeah.
There were, I don't know. Like I said, we're past it now, but that happened. That game was phenomenal, and I believe Tamia Nunes.
It was amazing. Yeah, that game was amazing to watch. That was, when I watched that game, I said to Diego, that was one of the best games I've ever watched since I've been covering the local basketball. And the reason why was just the level of intensity never wavered. It was kept high the entire time. And I was just like, you don't really see that, not even on the boys' side, unless you're watching like North High,
Yeah,
so that was impressive.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, Felipe, I know you know. I want you to add some wisdom to this, and I want you to actually focus on the second comment by Nigerian Fox Monkey, who says, for real, like who presses 40? Women's basketball is just not the same level. They are not trash, but men are made more dominant. They are just better at sports."
Yeah, and again, I respond similar to like the first comment in the sense I don't know if Nigerian Monkey was there at the game. My guess is he wasn't. He probably saw a clip of it. But as we're talking about all this, guys, I mean, the context behind what Mike calls the fan of the week moment, that guy, and there was so much storyboard behind that. Like you could bring on the South High basketball coach and do a 3-hour presentation of like the story behind why he didn't take off the gas that entire game.
Mm.
And I'm not going to speak bad about like anybody, but there was definitely a warranted reason for the reason why we played to that intensity. It's more than just the guy sitting in the stands chirping at Diego. There's just so much from the athletic director to their head coach at the time, who's no longer there.
Right.
Just so much. And the only thing I just feel bad for the girls in a sense who were playing because they probably had no clue what was going on behind the scenes.
Right.
And so, again, long-winded response to that. But I think at the end of the day, these comments, they don't know the context behind and the reason behind the intensity that we played. So all they see is the score. And they'll just immediately say, oh, they're just pressing and they're up by 40 and this, that, and the other. And then they'll throw in all these other things. So, again, not very fact-based in those responses. So I tend to not dismiss it, but I don't, it doesn't get to me. I don't even have to let it not get to me. It just doesn't, because I know that these are what I call presuppositions, you know what I mean? Statements made without knowing the facts behind what they're seeing on the video.
Well,
That makes
Felipe, I wanted to specifically ask you more so about the attitude behind the comment. So I understand the substance of the comment, but really what I'm trying to bring out here is the attitude that's behind all of this. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and I think it goes back to I think it's in our culture, you know, that the women's game is inferior to the men's game, you know, and for some reason I don't have answers for it or have like the wisdom behind it. I just go, this has just been culture, you know. Men's basketball has been, you know, for decades, especially like the NBA and even the WNBA. I think they, like to Mike's point, there has been much progress to be praised, the direction that women's basketball is going. But there's always going to be, I don't think it's ever going to be cured. So in my mind, we just got to look for like the progress. But yeah, I think honestly, it's just emotional stupidity, I call it. You know,
I have the answer. I actually, lucky for everybody, I have the answer. It's expectation. It's love of the game. It's the game of basketball. It's the way two different strategies play. Obviously, women physically aren't going to match up on an average. Yes, you're going to have big girls that can dominate in the paint, who they're playing, whatever. It's not going to. That's why there's two different sizes of balls. That's why there's two different speeds in golf. But your expectation is you're going there to watch the game of basketball. Now, I mean, if you want to pick into it and say you only like men's basketball, that's your choice.
Yeah,
but
that's
I love the game of basketball. I've seen now two separate ways it can be played, and we have one of the smallest teams in the state, and we still win. That's strategy. That's strategy, skills, training. That's, we just don't have a big girl and we're bigger than everybody else. You know what I mean? So the strategy is what you got to be a fan of. The game is what you got to be a fan of. How two separate people, two separate sizes play it, it's your preference, but to me, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter because I'm watching North High games, 60 points, 70 points, of course, they scored in the 80s, 90s. South Girls, the first year with Grayson Tamia, every game was 70, 80, 90 points. Like, we're up by 30 at the half with, that's just, that's an art form. That season was unbelievable. And that was, the first that I saw most of the season. But it's expectations. It's what are you a fan of? What are you going to see? Don't go to a women's game expecting dunks. That's unreasonable. And I think that's where a lot of people stand.
Okay. I like what you said when it comes to the expectations and what are you a fan of, because I get the sense that a lot of people aren't actually true fans of basketball. They're fans of a certain specific type of basketball. And I don't know, as I've gotten older, I'm just a fan of basketball now. So that's why I'm able to enjoy the girls' game. That's why I like watching the WNBA. That's why, it really doesn't matter to me whether they're girls or guys or young or old. I guess I'm at the age now where now I even watch men's leagues. So it's to me, it's basketball now.
Right.
And that's why with the comments, I'm starting to see that people aren't true fans of basketball like they think they are. They're fans of a particular brand. And I do think that's very important for the girls' game going forward is the branding. And I think like what Diego did with the South, with the social media, the photo shoots, the videography, that's really important for the girls to have. I think the WNBA is doing a great job with their branding. If you look at the WNBA's jerseys, their court designs, their color schemes, it's so different. And it's something that's completely new, which is why it's interesting to me, opposed to the NBA, which is something I've always known. And it's kind of normal to me now. It's not really exciting as much as it was when I was 10. So I think the girls' game is the future. I enjoy it. I play 2K and they got the girls in there now. That's also a big deal because that helps educate people on this player, that player, this team, and so forth. So I think it's happening now. And I think Felipe, I don't know if you said you don't think it will change or if the attitude will change, but I think it will, Felipe. I think it's happening slowly.
I would say, let me rephrase. I think the attitude is changing, but I think more accurately, those posts that are posted, there's always going to be someone posting something.
Yeah.
So I guess I re-clarify what I was saying. That the
fact of the matter is that could be that dude under a different name. That could be the fan of the week, Felipe. Yeah. Under someone else's name. I think the last time I get on there was someone telling me about Mary from Wachusett there or something like that, and it may have been a sister or whatever, but. That'll always happen. There's just got to be some kind of content to you got to reference something to argue. It just can't be a general statement, or else anybody can make that,
Yeah. Go ahead. You got it.
I was saying too, I think shooting is a big part of it that I don't think the girls get a lot of credit for. I'm known, I told I was ignorant to the game of women's basketball. I can't say that I remember a live minute that I watched before I started watching South. And my thing was, are these girls going to hit a shot? I'm looking at the box scores and games are ending 40-35 and whatever, but to watch the way these girls can shoot nowadays, i.e. Caitlin Clark, she's incredible. That girl stepping over 2 feet over the half court line and drilling threes. That's where I think it's a different era. I think girls have actually evolved in that sense, shooting wise. And there's always been one or two great shooters around, or that's just my knowledge. But that's what I feel. I feel like really shooting, these girls are getting really good. And go to the trainers and the training.
Yes.
Well, that reminds me, Mike. You remember Ashley Talbot from Drake It. That girl
Oh, my
can
God.
shoot from like 26 feet out. She killed us. We were fortunate to beat them, but I mean, that girl, oh my goodness, she could shoot anywhere at any time, and it didn't matter. And she had a high motor for 32 minutes.
Mike, do you have that video of that game against Drake?
I do, yeah.
It's on your page?
Actually,
Oh
The
my
last-
God, you didn't post it?
no, that it's a long time ago. The one that I
Okay.
made for Channel 5 a few weeks ago, that one was the whole Drake It game. And that,
Okay.
I don't know if that had her on there though. But I also posted her performance in the state championship. They played Foxborough, who beat us.
Mm.
And it was the same thing. She was keeping them within range with her range. Let's put it that way. Phenomenal. I know. She's at St. Michael's. Is that where she went?
Yeah, she got a full athletic scholarship to St. Michael's. It's a Division II school. I'm familiar with it because they're in the same conference as Assumption University. So she's going to do her thing there.
I wanted to play a couple videos. I think also the culture of women's basketball is different as far as they're competitive, but they're competitive in a different way. And I want to talk about that as well. I think guys are a little bit more bravado. The girls are a little bit more supportive. And that comes through as communication style. It comes through with, you see them laughing and smiling during the games. Like, it's a little bit more lighthearted. Not to say they're not competitive, but I want to show this clip of Diego and Jazzy. And people love this video. It already has like 3,000 views. And I titled it, "This Coach Believes in His Girls." And I think this was either Jazzy's first time scoring in the game or scoring in this quarter. And Diego made it a really big deal to, like, you know, give her props. So I just want to play this really quickly. Now, to someone else, that might look very aggressive and something that you don't do to a young high school girl basketball player. But once you get to know Diego and the girls, you see it's impressive to see that him and the girls are able to move across that expectation that you don't give them that type of support, and they actually embrace it, and they don't take it the wrong way, like a bump, a pat on the head, a hard slap. It's like most people think you don't do that to girls, like you know, but it's actually embraced. And I think that's something that's a shift in culture as far as ideas and how you think of how you can interact with players that are girls. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I know for a fact because, you know, speaking for my own daughter and just seeing how he treats all his girls like that. It's what do I call it? It's his way of nurturing the girls. Like we all know how hard he coaches the girls and how much he holds them accountable. But in that situation there, that's what I would call the nurturing aspect of his coaching. I don't know what he said, but I could guarantee it was just something to build her up. And by this point in the game was over. This was the fourth quarter. And he's putting the freshmen in, my daughter and Jazzy, but he's still coaching. He's still, you know, training the next wave, because obviously Grace and Tamia aren't there anymore. So these are these moments to kind of invest in them for the sake of the future.
Right.
Yep. He's saying right there, this is all yours next year. This is the moment. This is what you got to get used to. The end of the game. And that gym was lit too.
Man.
Because of how small that gym was, it was packed to the gills, pressure. You know, there was a little animosity in the crowd. So that was a big stage. But I'll tell you one thing. You're right, Felipe. That video right there is also a video of him doing that with every single girl on that team. Every single girl that plays for him. Google Jayla Cologne and tell me if she can take a little pat on the head or something like that. That I mean, you just gotta hope she don't give it back because, damn.
Yeah.
But that his style of coaching, these girls, they know he's out for them. Like they're under his umbrella, and it just works.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
And I know in that I think you have Jay. You have the full game clip on YouTube. If
Yeah.
I remember correctly, at that near point, Janiyah Hampton's Hudson, who was in the game, and my daughter was her backup in her freshman year. When she came out of the game after subbing Brian in, he gave her like the biggest hug, and she wasn't the Grayson Tamia. She had a very specific role for that game, but you just see her embrace her, like what a great job you did, hugged her, you know what I mean? And that's just who Diego is.
It is. It's all emotion. I love it, man. I watched that. It's almost embarrassing how many times I've watched that game. Both of our clips. Dude, I didn't even know that you were there till like a year later. You're the OG. You were doing everything wrong before me.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this dude was at the other corner. Like I would have loved to have that view. Like when I first did all them. Great.
I heard Jayla's name, so I had to bring out this picture of her. I never posted it, but I wish I was recording because she was like, "Shut up, Hoop Central." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I caught her in the middle of saying that. But
look at Shamrock in the back.
Yep, Shamrock's in the back too.
Comfortable.
Yep.
I'll tell you, I'll shout it out here, but because you're gonna hear it a lot more this year. I think this is a monster year for Jayla Cologne. She's always, I mean, she's the one that needs the spotlight because she don't need the score. She's doing everything else on that court, and she can score. I'm excited to see this team coming up this year. I'll tell you. Hopefully we get some good games. We're not looking to blow everybody out of the water. We want to, of course, but let's see some competition from the schools around here this year. And that's why I really started checking out AAU. Because it's not just Worcester. I get it. It's not just 508. I mean, geez, I'm up New Hampshire these days or on all these different places. But it's funny because there's girl teams that are out there just like ours in this state, around. And I'm getting familiar, but still, no one's beating us. That's me saying that. No one else. That's it. I've already guaranteed a title. Let's go. I think I have the last 3 years, but let's do this. Let's do this year.
Can someone tell me who? I forget this girl's name. The one on the right. I know her head is turned, but what's her name?
Ava. Yeah, Ava McCollum.
That's right.
Okay. Is Ava still gonna be there, or she graduate?
Yeah, she's gonna be. She's a freshman now. Just finished her freshman year.
Oh.
So next year she's gonna be a sophomore. And Mike can speak to this too because he's been. Her outside shot is coming. Like we're sitting around going, how do you replace a shooter like Ari who graduated, who's going to be playing for Anna Maria this fall? But Mike could speak to it too on some of his clips. I mean, Ava is just starting to her and Maddie, who's the other freshman. Their shooting volume and percentage is going up at an alarming rate. And I'm not being emotional about that. What do you say to that, Mike?
If I had to pick one, I'm still going to pick two for this season. The Sting, player of my existence. I missed the gym rat, but even more so to the point. I'm picking Ava and Blue for players of the season that I've seen so far after some. Ava Mack is going to be dangerous. Between her accuracy and her defense, her hands in that Drankett game, her and Destiny came in, her hands put out a fire, that we didn't really want from a team dangerous like Drankett. And she's just gotten better and better and better. She's a pure athlete. She plays tennis. I think she plays soccer maybe, or another sport on top of that.
Mike, did Ava play at St. Paul before South? Or am I making that up?
I actually, to my knowledge, I don't know that to be true.
She did.
Okay. She was on varsity.
At St. Paul's. If you could, it's 7th through 12th there. So as an 8th grader, she played split. She played on the JV, but because of her skill level, they had her on the varsity as well. So she was playing varsity as an 8th grader at St. Paul.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's just like JoJo Reyes.
And that's news to me, which is phenomenal. I learn something new every day. That's Brian too played 7th grade.
She played for Maine South in the 7th grade. Yeah.
So we got. I mean, these girls playing above their age too, I believe, helps quite a bit. And I know Diego loves to do that. He did that as a kid. That's of course that's why his coaching style is that way. But that Ava, I'll tell you. I mean, I still have a game. I think she had 7 threes in one game, 6 in another. And she's playing like all ages. She's playing with the freshmen all the way up, played with the varsity. She's getting as much work as she possibly can. And she helps Diego coaching and stuff. She's just all basketball, you know? And of course, that's why she's going to succeed.
She's a great teammate, too. Real good.
Yep.
Like, just gets along. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't bring much drama, you know. I think that's super important to the chemistry they have.
Really quick, Warzone, not today. I know you guys love Kayvon and North, but
we do. We love Kayvon.
We'll save that for another one. We do plenty of Worcester Academy, North High stuff, but today it's the girls. So I have this Doherty versus Burn Girls clip. Oh, thank you, Warzone. There we go. Ava is a good player, though. Yes, she is.
Yep.
So I never posted this game. I only caught like the second half. I think I was on my way back from one game, and I tried to catch part of their game. But I really like this clip in particular because it kind of talks about that that culture of women's competitiveness. Not to put them in a box, but it kind of shows how they're different, and it's not in a bad way. So let's see if this plays smoothly. Here we go. So the part of this that I love is coming up. It's going to be this 3-point shot. You guys will see it. So I brought that out because I'll probably post it into like a short clip, like her reaction to making a 3, right? She probably wasn't a player that played much, but you see her covering her mouth like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And everyone's cheering for her. There's a guy on the bench. I got to slow mo him, but he does like the 3-point and points to his veins signal when she makes it. So like, I thought that was cool. So I really like that clip, and you could see how everyone's like, it's still fun, And then if we look at the scoreboard, it wasn't 28 to 19. It was what 53 to 39 or 63 to 39. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to share that. What do you guys think?
It's a good point. The celebrations, I think, are the girls are starting to celebrate the 3-point, the 3-point sign, holding it down to the floor, doing all that. The too small. I think I got Jalen maybe doing the 3-point one a couple times, but she, I think I love it. I love it. I mean, let them have fun, especially at that level. Are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, let them have fun. These girls, I mean, they are balling. Also, TJ, you have to excuse us. The pace of that game is nothing like us South fans have ever seen. We're used to a rush, the full go. That's what we need. Like South High defense, those girls. Any video you watch, it's 100% speed.
It's 90 miles per hour. Yeah,
it's crazy, and that's that's not a secret. That's our strategy. But it's
that Sting name. I know there's another team named Swarm, but you guys really do swarm the basketball like hornets, So you guys definitely earned that logo for the Sting. But Warzone says girls basketball deserves more love. All those girls putting in work. It's different from boys, but the work those girls put in is just as much as the boys. It's sad people don't recognize that. Shaking my head. Yeah.
Well, and I think to that, and then I appreciate the comment, Warzone. I think you even mentioned before, just going to miss seeing Grace. And, to this whole topic that we're talking about girls basketball, and like there's just several girls, and I'll speak like in Inter High alone, our conference, like, I saw Mia Haynes bringing the ball up. She's going to play for Worcester State in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I know Naraya wants to play college basketball. I know she kind of came up a softball player, but she's the tall girl that carries right there on the right, number 13, I think. She's on the right side there.
Okay.
That's Naraya. Number 5, I don't know if she's playing, but I think all the other girls are coming back. And then for Grace and Tamia getting full scholarships for Division II, coming out of South High, and just seeing what Diego and Sam have built. And, that just speaks to this growing culture that, women's basketball, and this is all Diego's vision. He wants it to be on the map and recognized, but his ultimate goal is get these girls playing in college for free. And it's happening. Tamia's going to Dominican University in New York, and Grace is at Auburn University of Montgomery in Alabama, Division II. You know what I mean? That's out of South High.
And your daughter's on the fast track to UConn, for Christ's sakes.
Well, that's too much pressure, man. I don't care if I'm happy if she wants to go to Clark and play for there for free. It's her journey, man. I just want to be that girl dad,
Just so you guys know too, Felipe is the parent, like you see all those negativity on AAU parents and sports parents in general. Felipe is the model guy, man. His daughter she was Central Mass MVP last year. The Drake at 20 MVP. And you'll hear this guy talk about every other girl on the team, and it's kudos to you, Felipe. It's really it doesn't go unnoticed by me. That's for sure.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because when my kids were coming up and my girls, and I love basketball, and my wife made me vow that whatever they decide to do, that it would be the same, that I don't force them or pressure them into playing and living my dream through them. So I really went to work on that, because I am an emotional guy, and I am a critic of the game. But, to see my girl, for me, it's about her relationships. To me, that's the biggest thing I want her to get out of it is, the wins and the accolades, but really at the end of the day, it's the relationships. And then to me, that's one reason why girls basketball is so special, because it's very relational based. And if you have a team that's tight and close, that's just as important, if not more important, than the wins and how far they go in the States. That's just my conviction about that.
And here's the name drop. You're talking about relationships. One just got them a pretty nice trip down to see the Fever versus the Sun with Aaliyah Boston.
That was fun.
Yep. I mean, and that the number one pick in the WNBA, that 508 was the ties.
Yes.
Diego and the girls got to get down there and enjoy a game with her. She came. I mean, that says it all right there.
Yeah.
That says it all right.
I wish I could share that picture you sent me, Shamrock. But yeah, Aaliyah Boston, since you brought up her name, Aaliyah Boston has been very impressive. I don't know if anyone's been following what she's been doing in the WNBA, but she just absolutely crushed the Washington Mystics, which is like my favorite team. She destroyed the Washington Mystics. She's like a baby Shaquille O'Neal female version in the paint. Like, she is so dominant, man. Like, it's unreal. But I did also see her go against Brittany Griner. And that experience was a little bit different, but it's like her introductory, like, welcome to the league. You know, this is
That's going to be a learning curve.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But the way she bounced back from that matchup with Brittany Griner, oh my goodness. If you guys go back and watch her highlights against the Mystics maybe 3 days ago, she's going to be rookie of the year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I need to learn, but I'm going to guess the women have an all-star game, and she's going to be an all-star. Do we know if they have an all-star game?
I believe they do, but I don't.
I'll go out on a ledge. I believe they do. I think they do. I know he's right up there. I know there's a lot of girls balling though right now in the WNBA. That INSU girls doing the Liberty, I believe, right? Aren't they crushing everybody right now?
Liberty, New York Liberty, yep.
Yeah.
With INSU and they got someone else. Stewart, is it?
Yeah, Stewart.
Yeah.
Scorer.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'll tell you, Felipe, I would even say this if you weren't on with us right now, but Brian has a lot of similarities to Aaliyah, the way she plays under the rim. She's right back up with the ball no matter what. Brian's reflexes, since day one, right, Felipe? I've said that. Did you teach her to stand at that right spot? She's under the rim for the rebound everywhere. I think that's Aaliyah's game too.
Well, it's funny because the pride in me wants to take credit, but she completely plays like my wife, her mom. Her mom played at Smith College in the same thing, rebounder, like just quick reflexes, just killed it at Smith College in her day. And it's just, I'm looking at my wife, in a 16-year-old body out there on the floor.
That's crazy. This is where I'll go off on a ledge with the men versus women. I watched quite a bit of men's basketball as well, high school basketball this year. Brian goes back up with the ball as soon as she gets the board, quicker than a lot of the men. You want to talk about reflexes, like, yeah, if she's going against someone bigger, but she has. Brian's going against girls that are like 6'1", 6'2", and she herself is almost out of position. She's well-rounded. But it's a power forward. She's taken down monsters. So, fearless, not even the word.
So do you want to address, I know you did in the comments, but someone said that a 12 and under AAU team would beat the South High girls?
And then I said that Diego probably has an 8-year-old on the team that would be their 12 and under team. They're great. So just one men's basketball shout here to Edgar and Enrique of the Worcester Sting Elite. I don't know how old Edgar is, but he can't be more than 8, 9. I know Enrique's. These kids are amazing, man. There it is.
Yep, there it is. That's a great picture. Aaliyah Boston and the South High girls.
The number one draft pick.
Number one draft pick, Indiana Fever.
and we was talking about this too earlier, Jay. The WNBA needs to add teams. It's a
Yes.
travesty that
Yes.
some of these girls that got drafted in the first round aren't in the league because there's not enough room. There's not enough. A few more teams. Felipe, what were you saying? We think that they should have a team for every pro team.
Say that again. What's your question? I'm sorry.
Like we need more teams in the WNBA, obviously to widen the horizon, and we were talking that we think there should be a WNBA team for every NBA team, and what do we come across? There's none for Boston, really.
Yeah, so it's on the rise. Interesting you bring this up because I went on my family vacation to Niagara Falls, and we stayed on the Canada side, and I'm sitting in the hotel room, and there was a WNBA game on that day, and it was the first WNBA game in Canada, and they did this whole documentary on how the women's game has grown in Canada, and they had two teams there. I forget what teams were there, but it was just basically, Canada, the WNBA saying like the next expansion team should come out of Canada and all these reasons. And I almost started crying because you see these little girls at the game and they're just really hyped up. And, but I do think they got to be careful how they build because the WNBA, I don't know the amount of revenue they generate, but obviously you never want to build something that's not going to, help generate revenue. Because if you do that and then you go into a loss, then that could be bad.
Well, Felipe, that's an interesting point. Do you think that is why women's basketball doesn't get the type of investment that it possibly could benefit from because the interest isn't strong enough there yet? Or do you think that the interest will come once they start to invest more? Which way do you think it will
I
happen?
think it's that whole supply and demand principle,
Yeah.
that comes out of the business world. If the demand starts getting high, you know what I mean? It's like anything. It's going to sell. It's going to sell. And there's been a lot of growth and, salaries are increasing in the WNBA.
Yep.
But again, one reason why it just needs to make more money. So for that to happen, you got to have the demand factor there first. And I think it's moving in that direction. Maybe not as fast as some people would like, but I think it's moving forward.
Yeah. Right now there are 12 WNBA teams currently compared to the NBA, which has what, 30?
Yeah, over 30, maybe.
30, 32 maybe. Yep. 32.
Yeah.
I think too, the internet's a big deal. I think that the success rate of the WNBA shouldn't be dictated on ratings. You're looking at totally on ratings. You're looking, these girls got millions of views on the internet of highlights of things like that. I think that's that's going to be a big part of them, building bigger than they are. I'm looking forward to it. I know this season's been a pleasure to watch Aaliyah so far, especially with the 508 tie. I mean, I love it. And I love LSU. LSU I caught on, right? I mean, who wouldn't love to watch that team play?
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, with the recent transfer, right? Haley Van Lith?
Van Lith, yes.
She transferred? Yep. Yeah, that's big. That's big time.
Diego says what's up. He was trying to get on, but I don't know if he's on yet, but he wanted to say what's up.
Bring him on.
What's up, Diego?
He's not. I don't think he's technologically sound, so he's having a hard time.
All good, man. As long as he's checking in and supporting, we support you as well. And I still need that sweater. Diego. So I'm gonna come down to MTM and get me a sweater, man. I need that South High womentality sweater.
Let's go.
Yeah, so looking forward as we close this thing out, Shamrock, seems like you guys have something up your sleeve for South High coming this winter. I don't know what it is. You didn't tell me. I don't know when it'll be ready to present itself, but just give me your prediction for this upcoming 23-24 season. And can you tell me who's coming back from last year so I have an idea of what the roster looks like?
I can say state title. That's what's going to happen. I can say it's hard to tell who's exactly coming back as of right now. I think all the usual. We can stamp Brian. We have
The core is coming back. Yeah,
the core will be back.
the big three:
Who's the big three?
Jayla, Blue, and Brian.
Jayla, Blue, and Brian.
Three is correct. We right now we got to give a shout to Blue too, because everybody knows that girl is a killer, and I think she's starting to believe it herself, and she's been a killer with the Sting. Felipe, she had a game winner in the gym rat.
Yeah, she had college coaches. It's a live period there, so college coaches are watching online and they're present with their notebooks.
Nice.
And Blue was raising eyebrows on all levels. I'll just say that. And I think one top 5 Division III school, I think it was Emmanuel, was talking to her, and I think she's. It's going to be awesome to see what, because she's starting to get that killer mentality, which you can't really coach that in a kid. It's got to be their personality and their choice, and to start seeing that, it's a bit scary in a good way.
I do also want to shout out Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie Layton. I mean, she's there.
She's the one with the black shirt, right, next to Diego in this screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say too, to your question, and this was 2 years ago, Jay. Diego said this, and a lot of times Diego says stuff. I go, why would you say that? He was saying this in the period when Grace and Tamia were there. He said, in 2 years from that point, he said, in 2 years, that's going to be the best team we have. And that's the team that we're going to be looking at this winter. And I don't know how he thinks a lot of times, but his prediction was out of these teams he's had the last 2 years, this one coming up, he said, this is the team.
Yeah,
Okay, so Ari graduates.
She's done.
Who else graduated?
That's it. We only had Ari.
Oh, okay. It was just Ari. Pretty much the core group is coming back, maybe besides 1 or 2 here and there. So it's going to be like the same team, but more mature. And maybe some new pieces. Okay.
And that's why he said that, because the core has stayed. This core they were there, like Brian was there her freshman year getting Sweet 16 experience against Walpole. And then fast forward this past year, all these girls get experience with Foxborough. There's some tough games that, like, if you love the game, you're going to grow from these moments. And
I'm really disappointed I did not see that Foxborough game, because I know that Foxborough team was really good. They won this championship, right?
They won the state championship against a team that we beat in a tournament, Drake it. So we're right there, man.
Yeah.
But we also saw the girl from Foxborough with the Sting Elite, and we shut her down. So whatever. So that was Addie Magruder, who had 30 in that game.
And they had 31.
I mean, she just had a great night. That was it. Kudos to them. And Foxborough is gone this year. That's another thing we should talk about. They got moved to Division III, Felipe?
Yeah, they had started that process 2 years ago. So they're going to be moving to Division III, which is going to be better. The Division III they're stacked because they have Cathedral, who won states.
Yeah.
They've got a loaded division. So in one sense, it opens doors for us.
Summer
Jasmine Day Cox for
Yep.
Cathedral
from
is
Boston. Yep.
nasty. Oh my God, that team was phenomenal to watch. Phenomenal. They all could shoot. That's when I was like, oh yeah, there's some other good girls teams, I guess, around. But,
Diego, make it happen. Diego, come on, man. I want to see that one. And you already know
Wow.
I need to see. I'm gonna say it. I need to see the Wachusett game.
What
I
I
would say that-
what I will say is, though, in terms of what Diego will always say is he has a plan up his sleeve, and I'll just say that there's some things that are going to be unveiled in due time that it's going to be awesome.
We didn't lose that Wachusett game.
What do you mean?
You're still traumatized from that, Mike?
We didn't lose that Wachusett game, and we barely lost that Walpole game. I don't think if we played that Walpole game, any other game, and mind you, it's easy to keep track of losses, people. I'm not like a freak like that. Like, I don't know these. There's only been 3. There's been 2 playoff losses and 1 regular season loss I've seen with this team. So I remember, I don't want to talk about the emotions. I'm glad I'm off camera. So
Yeah.
But I can't wait. This upcoming season, I think the stars are aligned.
Oh man, but I do want to say this, and I'm just saying it as a basketball fan. I do think that Wachusett game this next year would also be really good because now you have a senior, Mary, you have her little sister Sophie, who's now a sophomore. You got Riley, I forget her last name, who's probably like I'm not sure if she's an upperclassman. And then you got, oh man, they got some pieces too. It would be a really, really good game.
Something to keep in your mind, Jay, is
Yes.
the top Central Mass teams. I'm calling it now. Leominster girls. They're returning everybody back.
And Leominster
girls. I think that will probably be. We got them twice on our schedule. The coach, we got along with Diego, and we got them on our schedule twice because that's good for our rankings. But they're returning everybody.
Okay, so yeah, let's see some Leominster, some Cathedral, Diego. If you can make that happen, I would love to see that because I'm from Boston, so I want to see you guys. I know you guys.
I don't know who's returning from that Cathedral team, but if I don't know.
Okay.
But if that team is intact, like if they lost even 1 or 2 people, they're still stacked. That team their coach is phenomenal too.
That would be a good matchup. Foxborough and Cathedral for the state title, Division III.
Yeah. Yep. On the Wachusett thing, though, like John Morant said, we don't run away from smoke. We run up the chimney. So what's up? I mean, I look at it. Ain't us that don't want it. They don't want to play us because it would have hurt their rankings or something like that. But they're, I think that was the reason. But we're not afraid.
Oh, I know you guys aren't afraid. I'm just being a basketball fan. That's all.
No, I'm
I
just
love
talking
it.
shit.
Yeah.
But see, look, women's basketball is underrated. There's a lot of like hypotheticals that are really exciting about the women's side of the sport. We just we got to make it happen. I mean, it's only going to build. It's only going to build.
I know
the game.
one thing Diego wanted me to mention. He texted me was one of the reasons why he loves coaching the girls' game is girls tend to be more loyal.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. He said they won't turn on you for some Nikes,
an hour later, and a pair of sneakers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just wanted to bring this out and show some support. I'm really excited about the girls' game. I got to get down to Connecticut to see the Sun play. Hopefully, when they play the Mystics. So I'm excited about it. I think that Diego's been ahead of the game. He already sees the special quality of the girls' side of the game, and I think other people will tend to begin realizing it as well. But hey, I'm putting my stamp on it now, June 17th, 2023, before you guys catch on in 2027. I'm 4 years before you, so. But that's it. You guys want to say anything or close out with any topics or any last words? You got the floor.
No. Are you doing the summer jam? Barbosa's thing he's doing this summer?
it depends where I'm gonna be because
Okay.
I might also be in Boston or in other places. So it
Yeah.
really depends.
Well, that's a great event. I'm sure you may have heard of it. He does. He's actually throwing a girl. He did it last year, a girls all-star game.
Yeah, I was there last year.
Yeah, you were there. Okay, so you
Yeah.
know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know we got a couple summer outdoor events coming up, and I Shamrock. I don't know. You told me something about Auburn, but I don't know if it's happening anymore. I was
Yeah.
gonna try to check that out too.
Felipe, are we allowed to put that out yet? Do we know what's going on? Is Auburn League is not a thing, or
I don't know about the. I just know Diego wants to go in a different direction with his girls. That
Okay.
much.
I'm looking for a spot to promote what he's doing. He's going to put on a co-ed league or something like that, or
Yeah,
something fun. He's got things going on down there all the time. So, but
he's his girls will be busy. I guarantee that.
that's for sure. That is for sure.
Well, all right, guys. Definitely thank you for joining me, Felipe. It's nice meeting you. Nice speaking to you.
Yeah,
You're welcome
you too,
anytime, man. Anytime.
Thanks for all you do, man. You're one of the reasons why girls ball is getting on the map too, along with Shamrock, is promoting it, finding the pieces that are interesting, and just highlighting these girls like we're looking at. I'm looking at Mary going to. I think she's committed to the Navy, Division I there, and all these girls here, have had an impact, and but it doesn't happen without promoting and having this platform to do it. So thank you, Jay, for what you're doing.
No problem. It doesn't happen without their hard work, and
Yeah.
the people like Diego who have been training them since they were 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. I think that's also a big deal. More girls training would be a huge,
Absolutely.
huge deal.
No
Shamrock.
doubt.
Yep.
No doubt. Always fun, my man. I love it. I'm glad we got this together tonight. I wish D could have came on to talk some junk with us, but I don't know. Keep an eye out, guys, because definitely women's basketball is on the rise, and we got a lot of talent right here about to explode. And there's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot more exposure this year with live capability. We're going to have the South Girls on live. There should be no excuse not to check a little bit of it out. So if you watch stupider things on the internet, watch these girls create lives for themselves. Curious. So let's go.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone who tuned in to watch the Hoop Central podcast. I'm Coach Jay, Shamrock, and my guy Felipe. Thank you guys for coming through. Till next time, we will be around. We'll do something new. Shamrock, stay in touch. And
Always.
Felipe, you can always get my information and reach out to me if anything's going on. Keep me in the loop because, sometimes I may not know what's going on. So
Absolutely.
Thank you guys, man.
All right.
Thank you, Jay.
Have a great night.
Take care. All right. So everyone else who's still here, I need you guys to do me this favor. You already know what I'm going to do. We out.
Over a bitch, still got plans to get my mama out the hood when I get rich. We just some young niggas who stay home, parents for they gon' slip. Put me in for the life of my niggas, I can't let it go. Every time I step out, I feel like I'm a bitch. Still got plans to get my mama out the hood when I get rich. We just some young niggas who stay home, parents for they gon' slip. I got that friends, they why I would never stop. I feel like Still got plans to get my mama out the hood when I get rich. We just some young niggas who stand on business.